Hey, what is up and welcome back to Motion RC. Today we have a very exciting airplane, the all-new 1600 millimeter Warbird you've all been asking for. This is the FlightLine B-25 Mitchell. So awesome to finally see this one come to fruition. I have always wanted a B-25 and I know a lot of our customers have too. This is going to be one sweet Warbird. We've already got it out of the box. And we are going to get to assembling right away. So let's get into some tech specs real quick and then we will start this assembly. Alright, the all-new B-25 comes with two 37, 48, 450 kV motors. It also comes with four 9-gram digital servos, 7 9-gram hybrid servos, and 4 17-gram servos. The motors are powered by a 50-amp brushless ESC, two of those. It's also running on a very scale 12x7 3-blade propeller. You have one that is counter-rotating and one that is standard. The overall weight of the model is 3,050 grams without your battery. Another cool feature of this model is it has a working bomb bay door. Another really cool feature is the fully scaled out aluminum suspension landing gear and fully sequenced gear doors on this model. It's really going to set this apart from other models in this class. What a cool feature on this model. The model can be flown on 6S 5000 to 5500 milliamp batteries. And the model also comes with full lights all over the airplane to make it easier to fly this in the dusk. All right, so let's get this build started by getting out our rudders, our elevators, and the back section of the fuselage. You're also going to need to get out the screws that you're going to put this together with. If you look in the package, it is the 2mm countersunk screws that are going to fit all of the parts for this section of the assembly. Step one of the assembly is to take your two rudders and you're going to snake the wire down the elevator channel. It's big enough that you don't need a go-get-em wire for this. You can just slide them down. Once they get to the center section, if you have a pair of needle nose pliers, it's going to help you tremendously in this part. Reach down and grab those servo leads and pull them out of the elevator. Once you've done that for both sides, it's time to actually affix the rudders onto the elevator. The way we're going to do this is we're going to slowly start to key it in and then grab our servo lead and pull it ever so slightly to make sure we're not pinching the wire when we put this on. After it slides in and keys, you're going to take two of those countersunk 2mm screws that we were talking about, and you're going to screw them into the end of the rudders to affix them to the elevators. Once you have both of your rudders installed onto the elevator, it's time to get our elevator installed onto the rear section of the fuselage. What we're going to want to do, if you have a come-get-em wire, go on and pull those two wires up to the front section. If not, it's no issue. Just go on and kind of use the gravity and drop them down in there. Reach in and grab them with your needle nose and pull those two wires out to the front of the airplane. At that point, it's time to go on and make sure we don't pinch any wires as we slide our elevator down onto that rear section of the fuselage. Then you're going to take three of your remaining countersunk screws with the 2mm heads. Two will go in the top. And one will go in the bottom section to affix the elevator onto the rear section of your fuselage. Once that is done, we need to plug our rudders in to the multifunction control board at the front section of the fuselage. As you can see, it is pre-labeled for you. Your yellow wires are going to go towards the top or towards the little white connector of the multifunction control board. Plug both of those wires in, and then we will be finished with this step of the assembly. At this point, let's get the rear section of your fuselage attached to the front section of our fuselage. The way we're going to do this is slide our two little carbon spars that are already pre-installed into the front section of the model. Reach up and grab the multifunction control cable that's coming out of the forward half of the fuselage. Plug that into the aft section of the fuselage. Then slide them up together. When you push on this, you're going to have to use just a little bit of force to get the two quick connects to snap in. When it does, you should hear a very positive click. Once that's complete, you're going to take the other remaining 2mm countersunk screws, and one is going to go in from the top, the other will go in from the bottom of the fuselage. That will get your tail section installed on the model. Moving right along, it is time to start on putting our wings on. What you'll notice is that you will have the connections inside of the two pockets of the wings you need to pull out. The forward section has your throttle signal wire and your ESC power leads with the XT60 connector on it. Pull both of those out, and then in the back section there is going to be one more wire. This is for the gear sequencer. Go on and pull that out. Once you've done that, we're going to take our two carbon spars. There's a large one that goes in the front half of the airplane and a smaller one that slides into the back half of the airplane, and get those installed. Then we're going to take our wing half and get it slid onto the main large spar. Once you've done that and got it down a little ways, you can go on and take all three servo connections and push them through the fuselage. You'll see there's a hole in the front half where you're going to put your throttle and your XT60 motor connector in. And then in the back section, there is a little spot to put that gear sequencer servo lead through. Then it's as simple as plugging in your multifunction control board, which is the big white cable, and then slide your wing on. As you slide it on, make sure not to pinch any of the wires. If you need to, reach in from the inside, grab the wires and pull them just a little bit to get the slack out of them as you slide the wing completely in. Once you have it fully seated, turn the model over and take the four 2.5mm Allen key screws. These are a special type of screw that is made to where as you thread it in, once you get to a certain part, it's going to drop into the wing. After that, it can't drop back out of the wing for storage and transportation purposes. That keeps you from having to worry about losing the screws. Anyway, once you get those all the way down, you are going to go on and just thread them into the brass receiving point. If they're a little tight, it's okay. Go on and just get them all the way down, and you want it to where those are nice and tight. That's what's actually holding the wing onto the airplane. At that point, you're going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side of the airplane. Get your other wing all installed. Once you've done that, we need to reach in from the top of the model, and you will see your blue box. Looking at the model from the rear, the bottom right-hand connection already has a three-way Y harness installed into it. Two of the ports are going to be empty. One of the ports is already filled by your nose gear doors. Your other two doors from the wings are going to plug into this Y harness. So go on and plug both of your landing gear doors into that Y harness. Once that's complete, we're going to reach up to the front section, and in the kit, you are going to get an extra Y lead. At this point, we're going to take both of our throttle ports and we're going to plug those in to that Y harness. Then that Y harness will go straight into the receiver. Lastly, you have your 2-into-1 ESC wire. One end is going to be an EC5 that's made to plug into your 6S batteries. The other two ends are your XT60 yellow connectors. You're going to go on and plug one into each side, and that is going to make up the power lead for this airplane. All right, now that you have the center section mounted on the airplane, what this gives you is a 3-piece wing for transportation. Now, for customers that have already seen the Cougar and those new Quick Connect wings, this has the same style on these outer wing panels. What you're going to want to do to install these is simply plug in your multi-function control board and then slide the wingtip on until it clicks. You have 2 release mechanisms on the bottom if you need to take the wings on and off, but this makes it really easy and fast for transportation for those guys that have smaller vehicles and need to be able to take those wings on and off. All right, at this point in the process, it is a great time to go on and install our receiver. You need at least 7 channels for this model. The reason you need that extra channel is for the bomb bay door that is actually functioning on here. So if you don't choose to use that, you could get away with a 6-channel receiver, but most guys are going to want to use the bomb drop feature of this model, so you'll need that 7th channel. Once you get everything plugged in and sorted out, it's a good time to test everything on the model. Wiggle all the control surfaces, make sure the ailerons move, make sure your flaps are working, your elevator, your rudder. Once you know it's all working correctly, it's time to install our ball link clevises on our elevator. They should be the only ones you need to put on. The reason I waited till now to put them on is because now the servos are centered. And so when we put it on and make our final adjustments, everything's correct and straight. This is also a good time to go on and check those retracts out. I have to say, when I dropped these the first time, I was blown away. These are some of the finest retracts I have ever seen, with the scaled doors and the little flap on the nose gear that's just like the real one. Guys are gonna be really impressed with these landing gear. And I'm super blown away. All right, now that you have the model all working and you've tested everything to make sure it works, it's a good time now to stick all our peripherals on. So you have 3 machine guns that go up in the front. I put just a little dab of glue on these just so they don't fall out. There's also a little antenna that glues on top of the glass section of the nose. It goes off to the right just a little bit from the pilot's viewpoint. You also have the 4 guns that go on the side of the fuselage. Moving back, we have the radar dome on the bottom of the airplane. It just slides and clicks in. No glue required on that. Then you have 2 more guns in the center section where those windows are, and then 2 more guns in the very back where the tail gunner would sit. You also get a set of bombs with this airplane, and they just slide into the bomb bay. You just hit your switch that's going to open that, and then you just toss them in there. So whenever you hit it, they just fall out. All right, very last step, now that we have everything done on it, is to put our propellers on. It's as simple as sliding them on, then screwing on the little silver cap. Tighten that up using a small screwdriver that you can fit in there. Then slide the outer hubs on with the remaining 2 machine screwed 2mm screws. Now these have a little touch of blue Loctite on them just to keep it from backing off, so just go on and put those in, and that gets your propellers on the model. All right, so there it is. This is the B-25. The last step in the process is to install whatever livery you want. We've had many customers in the past say that they want the models to come without liveries, and we've heard you. So all that comes on this one is the stars and bars. They are pre-applied out of the box, and the yellow cowls are pre-painted for you. As far as your nose arts and any kind of tail nomenclatures you want, you're going to be able to choose whatever you'd like. The model comes with a few different sets in the kit, but if you want, Cali Graphics already has plenty of options for B-25s out there. that you can get for this model if you want a different scheme to make yours look a little bit different than the other guys at the field with this model. Well guys, without further ado, this has been an awesome build experience. I'm so excited to have another model from FlightLine in the 1600 millimeter Warbird range. I know you guys are going to enjoy this one, and I can't wait to see all the custom repaints over there on the Motion RC Facebook customer community. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do it. Share your liveries if you're doing custom schemes, and we're going to see you in the next episode. So whether it's land, sea, or air, Motion RC has what you want. Bye.